What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Practical channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So all of the attention right now is on PlayStation. They're talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro. Concord came out. It disappeared. It was basically, a failure. I hate when games fail. I mean, I'm not sitting here celebrating that. I don't care, for anybody who does that. And then there's also the conversation about the cost of the PS5 Pro, what it's actually going to deliver. If it's basically 2020, 2019 repeating itself again when PlayStation and Xbox were selling a console on, this interesting marketing hype. Instead of telling you what the fine print said, they wrote the fine print on the bottom telling you, 4K 120 is only if the software, supports it. So enjoy 4K 120 for Tetris or something like that. But here's something that I think we haven't talked about. For the last few years, everything that Xbox has done has been looked at with a huge microscope, a fine tooth and comb. As they acquired Bethesda, people started to pay more attention to what was going on because that was a big acquisition. And, to be very honest, it really took a lot of people by surprise. Also, add to that, a lot of people were saying at this point Xbox had no games. They were saying Game Pass did not provide any value. The games on there kind of sucked. Nobody wanted to play them. Xbox hadn't brought out these games, and everything Xbox did was analyzed very heavily. Then add on top of that, they got international, attention with their proposal to buy Activision. And what happened? Everybody started digging in. As they were digging in, the regulators, the news agencies, everybody, the YouTubers, the gamers, and everybody was quite aware, including shareholders, and then even your grandma who bought Microsoft stocks was wondering what all is going on. Even Warren Buffett was talking about possibly the acquisition at the time, even though that's an industry that, is not one that he would naturally have been inclined to invest in. But he saw that there was a huge opportunity in terms of shifting the market. This particular kind of polarization, having been proposed and actually championed by a lot of folk on the PlayStation side, is the same attention right now that PlayStation is getting. And what's flying under the radar right now is the question, where are PlayStation's games? What's PlayStation's plan? Where is their roadmap? We've been talking about all of this, and I think we've gotten too comfortable ignoring what is the most important thing about a so-called game publisher, which is the games. You see, Xbox knew that in the PS4 generation, it didn't have the games. There are statements from Phil Spencer admitting, man, we are not on par with what PlayStation is bringing out. So what did they go do? They went and found not just games, but they brought a big bag and found a lot of games. In finding a lot of these games, they're shifting the industry. They bought what was basically being threatened to be taken away from their platform. Keep that in mind. I know someone's going to say, yes, it was because PlayStation tried to money hat those games. But now the money hatting seems to be getting a little, tough. The facade is starting to wane. Why? There's not a huge number of games that they can money hat because a lot of these companies are saying like, if we go, exclusive on PlayStation, they're going to then go on PC. Why are they going on PC? Because it seems like, something is not happening on their platform as we perceived it to be. I know some will also say things about PlayStation sale, but keep in mind a lot of the games that have sold the best on PlayStation, they're coming from PS4 or leveraging PlayStation 4. So what is their roadmap looking like? Other than the Wolverine game, the Venom game, the X-Men game that we saw in leaks, I have no clue what PlayStation is doing right now. I'm not trying to bury my head in the sand. I'm literally looking and saying, what have they actually delivered this particular generation other than remasters? Remasters from games, remasters to even the console. It seems like there just is no real conversation about the games that PlayStation themselves as a first-party publisher is actually delivering. What we're seeing is everybody else's game that they're basically trying to, keep on their platform. But, because of the saturation of the market, eventually everybody kind of gets over it. Remember when everybody, not everybody, but most people on Xbox were saying, I'd love to play Wukong. And I was like, will you quit? Before you know what's going on, you're going to forget about Wukong. And here we are. I haven't heard a single lick of a conversation about Wukong since the PS5 Pro got revealed. Because that's how gamers are. People will move on to the next thing and to the next thing. And by the time this PlayStation 5 Pro conversation dies down, believe you me, the question of where are the games is going to come up. And some will say, well, PlayStation. I saw a comment the other day, man. I didn't even need to respond. So shout out to all of you who basically brought facts to the table. Somebody said, well, Xbox released only one game this year, Hellblade, Senua Saga. And then PlayStation released about 5. And people came and said, oh, so we're counting, third-party games? Well, if we're counting third-party games, they eventually started laying down the list. And then even the upcoming first-party games that are coming into play that, that person tried to maybe somewhat sneak under the rug. Like you can sneak Call of Duty under the rug and you're going to sneak Indiana Jones, regardless of who's interested or not, under the rug. You can't do that. So I think PlayStation is in a very precarious situation. They're going to release a new refresh console to play Call of Duty because we're not going to see that GTA 5 game for a long time. And even when we do, there's a more affordable Xbox console to actually play it. I've kind of said to myself that I probably won't, bother playing GTA 6 or whatever it is. I mean, but if I ever intended to, I have the consoles to do so. And so now what it is I think all of it is laid bare. PlayStation is lacking in the games department. They need to do some work. This money hiding of third-party games, Xbox meets them on parity with it. And most of those games now are fleeing to PC or doing a simultaneous PC release, just like PlayStation is starting to do with Until Dawn coming pretty soon. A day one PC PlayStation game. What? Okay, some people are going to say, well, I remember the comments. Well, it's not. What would you even bring up Until Dawn? It's an old PlayStation. So what? The Last of Us Part 1 followed a different route. Or the Lego Horizon game that they're making when they could have been investing in some of their, some of their IPs and actually bringing those. They've decided and refused that. That's not the way they want to go. That they instead wanted to go buy Bungie. Can you imagine the decision making going on here? So PlayStation, I think what, a lot of the fans have actually created and even being able to control the narrative is you've been able to leverage the press and the media to favor you while combing through Microsoft heavily. Now that you've had a series of missteps, you're about to get that same kind of treatment because what you've done is you've created an action that's going to get an equal and opposite reaction. I think that's just how this is going to play for now, but it's interesting overall. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.